Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for taking the time to join us on this wonderful and fine Monday night. It is me, AP, your host of Timeouts and Tangents, and we are joined by the ever so wonderful, ever so amazing, ever so smart and intelligent, the one and only owner, founder, and creator of SCC Pretty, Miss Dailey Joy. Miss
Wow,
Dailey Joy.
AP.
I try to roll out the red carpet every now and again.
Honored,
I,
honored.
I have some manners whenever whenever I can display them. I like to show them off.
I'll take
So
it.
I wanted to know what was the inspiration behind your self discovery over this weekend. And if you
Oh,
forgot, I didn't. And I told you we were going to talk about this
this
tonight.
is it's fine. It's fine.
So what brought this about? You just realized you like eggs?
Okay, so here's the thing. I did not grow up in like a breakfast food family. Like we were
Really?
quick, like we were in and out the house. Like my mom didn't make a big breakfast. Like that wasn't a thing. We were like a cereal and like if we were having a good day, a waffle. Like we were quick breakfast family. Okay, so we never really like ate breakfast, and when we did, like we were very much like biscuits and gravy, bacon, like fatty food breakfast, and like
Right, right.
eggs just never were really highly on the agenda. And so at a very young age, when I decided I was going to be a picky eater, I decided that eggs were one of the things that I just didn't like. I couldn't tell you why I didn't like them. I just didn't like them. But obviously, like as you grow up, you realize like there's certain things that are in other foods that you don't realize. And I'm like, wow, my whole young life I was eating fried rice. Like there was nothing
There's
to it,
eggs.
and there's a ton of eggs in that. And so the other day, I have never really like considered reincorporating them because they aren't missing. Because now I'm also not a big breakfast person, so I don't think
Right.
every morning like, well, what could I be eating? Like, what are normal people eating that I'm not eating? And but the other night I decided to make fried rice, and I like had everything going, and I went to crack the egg, and I was like, I'm just gonna like eat a bite of this and see if it's good. And it was. And so I was like,
so
okay, I guess I like eggs. I still put them
so
in my fried rice. It was dinner time. But I was like, okay, now I could order scrambled eggs somewhere and not feel like I don't like them.
I will say this. Not all eggs are made the same. So
Correct. No, yeah, at
just
this point, we're sticking with scrambled because that's what I know I like. Give me another couple years. Maybe we'll branch out. But for now, scrambled's it.
yeah, yeah, please. Yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. And make sure like whenever you get them that they give you an actual cracked egg, not the powdered egg or the
Oh,
eggs that
yes.
come out straight like liquid. Like you
Oh,
always
yeah,
want
for
that egg out
sure.
the
No, I
shell.
mean, I'm still a picky eater. Nothing about that's going to change.
So Joy, tell me this. Where are you from?
So I was born in Shreveport, but I was raised in Baton Rouge. Like I say, like when people say where are you from, I always say Baton Rouge. We lived in Shreveport until I was 7, 8, maybe. I don't really remember like those years of living in Shreveport. We moved to Baton Rouge. We lived there until my parents divorced and I was 15. I moved back to Shreveport, graduated high school, and then moved back to Baton Rouge for college.
Okay, okay. So you are boot born and raised. So
Born and raised.
you're 31831 great then. Good, good, good.
No, I am 225 until I die.
Well, I mean if Jacob
The only thing I will rep from the 318 is my high school, like where I graduated from, because we produce legends. And so I have zero issue ever saying like I graduated from Evangel. Like that really fills me with pride. But outside of that, I do not claim the 318 31 great.
if Jacob Hester heard you say those words,
Jacob would
he
probably
would
be very mad at me. Fun fact, my dad taught Jacob Hester when Jacob was in high school at Evangel.
really. So
Really?
you know he would force you into claiming the 318.
I don't know about. I don't know if Jacob
I
could
don't
do
know
it.
how
The
much
thing
it'll work,
is
but
that everyone that really like sits down and really gets to know me, they're like, okay, like, yeah, she, I guess, is like was born in Shreveport and graduated high school there, but like the core of my identity was formed in the years that I was in Baton Rouge. And so that's really more about like why I would rep it. Like when I say I'm going home, I'm going to Baton Rouge. Like I'm not going to Shreveport. Baton Rouge is and forever will be my home.
look, I definitely respect that. I was Born and raised right here in New Orleans. Went to LSU right after Katrina, so I completely understand. Like 225 will always have a special part in my heart.
Yeah,
But
it's a great
you know,
place.
I'm 504 to my core, so I just can't turn my back
I
on
don't
that.
blame you. Okay, being 504 to your core is a little cooler than being 3183 and great. Okay, like let's be honest. There are
the,
levels to the state.
the shade, the shade. Hey, good evening, Paul. Thanks for joining us tonight, man. Y'all get active in the chat. We will display your chats tonight. If you have any questions for Joy or myself, please feel free to fire away. The more interactive you guys are, the more interactive we'll be with you for sure. So, Joy, why LSU? I know they look at Shreveport and they think that it's East Texas, unfortunately.
Oh,
So, what made you decide that LSU was the thing for you?
that was easy. Because I had lived in Baton Rouge and all of those formative years, like
Mm-hmm.
LSU is what shaped like the identity of the city that I was living in. And I will tell you that I have a deeper appreciation for it than most, I feel like, because it got taken away from me when my parents divorced and we moved to Shreveport. That
Mm-hmm.
like cultural phenomenon that I had grown to build my life around wasn't there anymore. And I remember feeling so even like disconnected. Like the state is so different if you get up
Yes.
to North Louisiana, and feeling like all of my friends, like I was used to everyone being an LSU fan and we're all going tailgating on the weekends and we're all going to the game. And then I moved to Shreveport and everyone, half of them are going to Louisiana Tech, some are going to Louisiana Monroe. We got Northwestern. We're leaping into Dallas because Dallas is closer than Baton Rouge.
Right.
So I just always had a deep appreciation for it when I lived there. And then when I didn't live there, I got a deeper appreciation and I couldn't wait to get back.
What
And
was?
so it was
I'm
always
sorry
that
for
was
I'm
the easiest-
sorry for cutting you off.
oh no, it was just the easiest choice. There was no plan B.
What was that adjustment like for you? Was there like a little bit of a culture shock coming from Baton Rouge going up to Shreveport?
Yeah, I think just because again, I don't remember so much of like my first season of life in Shreveport. And
Mm-hmm.
so everything that I had been taught about hospitality, about food, about culture, was so ingrained in South Louisiana. And so yeah, going back up north was hard. And I know people all the time are like, we're still Louisiana. And like, you are, but the reality is like, even South Louisiana is 1,800 different cultures all
It's
mixed up. Like, the
different.
whole state is a gumbo. That's what makes Louisiana, Louisiana. Um, but I remember, I'll never forget it. I was getting my nails done and I was hungry and I was like, Mom, I'm going to run to the restaurant next door and grab like an appetizer. And she was like, okay. So I go run to the restaurant next door and I order fried alligator because I've lived in Baton Rouge for 8 years now, and fried alligator is safe to order in South Louisiana. And I
Right.
order this fried alligator and I take one bite and I spit that food out so quickly. I dumped the whole appetizer. My mom, I like went back in empty handed. She's like, what happened? And I was like, they gave me fried alligator and it was disgusting. And she was like, oh yeah, baby, I should have told you this. But like, there will be a cultural shift change in even the food now that we're back in
Mm.
North Louisiana. And she was right.
Yeah. See, Paul actually mentioned moving from Laplace to Ruston as a kid, and he said it felt like a different world up there. So he's definitely agreeing with that sentiment. When I moved from New Orleans to Baton Rouge, I can tell you like culturally, it's not that big of a jump.
Right.
But having visited Shreveport and Alexandria and going up to Ruston, like you don't realize how different this state is until you start hitting those different pockets of
Yeah.
this state. And like you said, it's what makes it beautiful in its own way. But at the same time, we're also, creatures of comfort. So, we like what we like. And the Baton Rouge and New Orleans almost have that same type of vibe and feel. I told my son went up to LSU. His older brother is at LSU right now. And he went up to spend some time with his brother. And when he came back, he was like, "That is different from going to a game, and just and going just walk through or whatever, like campus, just like touring and stuff." He was like, "I really liked LSU. He's like, I really, really liked the campus." And he was like, "In Baton Rouge feels almost like, like a cleaner version of New Orleans." I said, "Yeah, it's Metairie just spread out.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
it's just Metairie just spread out."
That's exactly what
So
it is.
So you started and founded SEC Pretty. What was the inspiration behind this?
I was just having a conversation with some friends one day, and we were talking about like the levels and of how like different states produce pretty women. It's just kind of a fact, and certain states produce more. That's why there are more Miss Americas that have been from the state of Texas than anywhere else. Like the South breeds pretty women. And someone was like, yeah, and then they all go to SEC schools. And I was like, yeah, they're like SEC pretty. And I like that came out and I was like, wait, that's
I
kind
think I
of
just did a thing.
like I think that's kind of a sick idea. And so I had those 9 letters, put them on a hat. One night when I had delusional confidence, I special ordered this one hat. It was just for me. I was like, I think I'm SEC pretty, and so I'm wearing the hat. And I put it on, and just like throughout conversations with different people, they were like, I really think you got something here, girl. Like I really think you should put your foot on the gas. And so I took it to the College World Series last year. I was only supposed to be there 5 days, ended up there the entire time, all through the Natty. And I was getting asked by LSU fans and Arkansas fans where I got my hat. And I was like, okay, this is like feeling like a sign. And then the final push for me was I was at the national championship celebration after we won the Natty. And Kramer Robertson walked right up to me and said, I need that hat. How do I buy that hat? And I said, Kramer and I were at LSU at the same time. So we have a lot of mutual
Y'all had a
friends.
relationship.
Just kind of like going at it. And I was like, Kramer, I really think I'm about to put him on a hat. And he was like, Joy, I don't think you understand. Like, you'll kill this. And so I flew home from Omaha. I trademarked it immediately. I bought, I believe it was 12 hats with my own money, and just was like, if I sell half of them, then I'll make my money back. Like, and I'm good. And there's no risk, like barely any risk, a little bit, but not that much. And I sent Kramer and Joe Schwartz the first 2 that I got. And they both posted it. Just within their post, I sold the rest. And then I had enough interest to do a pre-order, and I got like 50 to 75 pre-orders within like a 48-hour period. And I was like, okay, I think I'm on to something. And it just took off from there.
It's an amazing brand. I showed my wife the hats tonight because my wife is a certified hat connoisseur. Every single Bass Pro hat, she owns every color. Like we make a specific drive every month just to go to Bass Pro in Gonzales just so she can get a new hat. Like she has her own case and closet full of hats.
Love
so when
it.
I showed her your hats tonight, she was like, all right, I need the LSU one. And I know that these are other schools, but that's not gonna count. So we're just gonna call them by their colors.
That's all you gotta do.
So I'm definitely gonna be putting in an order
Love it.
tonight as soon as we get done. So thank you for that inspiration. So let me ask you this, and this is a little off the cuff. How now that you've started your own brand, you've launched it. What does it feel like for you to be an entrepreneur and be in this space?
I don't know if I feel like I am in the space, if I'm being so honest.
You're making and selling a product.
I completely understand what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with your statement. I'm saying in my brain, sometimes it's really hard for me to wrap my head around that. The reality is like there are still days that I wake up and I'm like, wait, what if this doesn't work? And it's actively working. So it's not it doesn't feel like I've made it. And I like that it feels that way.
Right.
It keeps my foot on the gas. It makes me feel like there's still more work to do. I have, if I'm being honest, when I launched it, I think I really limited myself on how much I believed the brand could accomplish so that I couldn't let myself down. And that went away in like 2 months. Like everything I was like, there's no way any of this happens. In 2 months, it all happened. And so I am finally probably giving myself full permission to really dream what the brand itself could really be. And I think once I start achieving things that I just can't even fathom in my wildest imagination, I might be able to more wrap my head around the title.
What are some goals that you have for the brand coming up?
Well,
if you can announce it, if you can. go into it.
We have a lot of like internal things. I have a silent partner, so we are in discussions a lot about some really massive undertakings that we could potentially be doing. I'm like pretty limited with what I can say just
Yeah, yeah.
because of, like potential contracts and things of that nature. But everything that I believed would be capable in like the time span of years, I am being told to believe is capable in the time span of months. And so,
That's amazing.
yeah, I am optimistically hopeful that it's going to be bigger than I could ever imagine.
Well, I mean, you're starting off on the right foot. Paul even said in the chat that he bought his wife a
Appreciate you,
hat
Paul.
right when you first launched. So look, I'm telling you, your input and your impression, you're leaving your mark right here already in Baton Rouge. You're crossing over into different spectrums and affecting different lives. I mean, like the SEC Pretty brand came across, like my footstep and footprint. Now, before the Lane Kiffin of it all, I used to kind of avoid social media just because I
Hmm.
own and operate restaurant franchises. So don't typically have time to be playing around on social media. And
Right.
I'm a lot like you when it comes to dealing with trolls. I'm going to go back and forth,
Yeah.
and it's going to occupy my time. I wasn't looking at it as giving them, like my free time. But even in the limited time that I was, like I've come across yourself, come across your brand, come across the things that you are doing in the path that you're on. And I want to tell you, just from my personal perspective, you are an inspiration to someone like myself who's just breaking into this, so keep doing what you're doing. And like you said, I respect the humility because I'm the same way, but don't ever doubt yourself because you're already proving every day that you get up and you show up to do something, you're already proving yourself that you can do it. So I want to encourage you with that, because I
Thank
even have my days too where it's like, is this real? Is it gonna fail? And if it does, how does it affect me? And that's, so how do I keep pressing forward? How do I find those motivations to keep moving forward? That's something I challenged myself to start this year, actually. Came up with 3 points. My wife loves me, my kids adore me, and God forgives me. And as long as those three things don't change, nothing else matters. So I'm gonna just keep shooting and see where things fall from there.
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
Paul said in the chat earlier when we were talking about the different parts of Louisiana, North Louisiana is amazing, Southern hospitality and a cute pumpkin pie. South Louisiana is watching your white aunt do the bunny hop in her Sunday best.
Accurate.
And then he said, West Louisiana, dusty crawfish, they don't count. Which is absolutely true. So let's get to the LSU of it all,
Yeah.
right? How did you feel when we hired Brian Kelly?
Oh my gosh. I was angry. I never stopped being angry. Um, if that isn't abundantly clear, I don't know how to make it more clear. I never liked the hire. I genuinely at no point in time did I ever believe that this was the right decision. And it took me 4 years and getting brutalized by the LSU community for everyone to be like, wait, maybe that Dailey Joy girl was on to something.
No, 100%. So my initial reaction when we made it, because I'll never forget where I was. I was standing in my living room when Oklahoma lost in that Big 12 championship. I was like, well,
Mm-hmm.
that's our coach, right? It's got to be Lincoln Riley. And then when he came out and he vehemently said, I will not be the coach at LSU, I was like, who the hell are we
Yeah, no
about to
doubt.
get? And in my mind at that time, I was like, well, we could go for Lane. If we go for Lane, I wouldn't be mad. I just don't think he's ready for this jump yet. Like, but at least the offense will be fire. Like, we'll be explosive and he'll be cocky. It'll be fun. We'll be drunk, but it will be fun. But then when they announced Brian Kelly, I was like, I'm not. I'm indifferent. I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to feel about that initially. I was like, it can work, but then it can go absolutely terrible. Like, if this doesn't work out, where do we go? And then when they announced the contract,
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was legitimately upset because here we are and we guaranteed him $90 million.
Yep.
Like that's what we're doing.
Yep.
So okay, cool. We accept it. And I told my son, because like I said, I baptized him in purple and gold. He is a Tiger fan through and through. And he was in the 8th grade, and I said, well, bud, get used to it. This is going to be your coach, because we ain't firing him at all. Because we don't have money like that. And then when they fired him on October 25th, or on October 26th, I looked at him and I said, well, I was wrong. Somebody wrote a check, and I'm glad that they did it. So now take me to December 1st. Lane Kiffin is introduced.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about this hire today?
I feel the exact same way I feel on that day. And I made my emotions insanely clear on Twitter, and I will basically paraphrase them here because they haven't changed. I don't have this insane level of confidence that we are going to win 18 natties and he's going to be the next Nick Saban. And I don't. If you want me to be just truthful with you, I don't know if Lane wins a natty. Am I hopeful? Absolutely. I'm also cautiously optimistic and aware of the football that I've watched Lane Kiffin coach over the past years. Now, his trajectory says that he should win a natty at LSU. Overall, it is a better program. It's in better standings. You are able to recruit better. You just signed a recruiting class or a transfer portal class, and you have every resource at your fingertips to make that class pay off for you. So trajectory in his history says that he should win a natty. Trajectory in his history said he should win a couple of natties. But he might not. But if he doesn't, here's the reality of it. Lane Kiffin has made, even in 3 months, being an LSU fan enjoyable again. For the last 4 years, we were in pure hell. We were told that we were spoiled and that our expectations were too high, even though the whole reason he took the job was because he had every resource at his ability. But God forbid,
let me help
we
you
hold
with that. I can help you with that.
You know what? You're spoiled.
Yeah,
you're spoiled.
You're spoiled. We were spoiled, and our expectations were too high, even though the 2 previous morons before you won a national championship. But the standards that we put in place were put in place from the people that had the job before him. That's not the fan base's problem, and it's not the fan base's problem that we have come to expect that same level of commitment and tirelessness from you. And so I don't know if Lane will win a natty, but I know that the entire time Lane Kiffin's our head coach, we're going to have a hell of a time. Yes. And I just want to have fun. College football has gotten so serious, and we're so rule regulated, and we're so worried about this and that and the transfer portal and NIL and I just want it to be fun. I want to get drunk at a tailgate and not worry that I'm going to get scolded in a press conference after because you can smell the bourbon. I want cookie on someone's shoulders blasting a fire extinguisher. I want football to be fun again.
Yes. All of the above. Yes. So I cannot agree with you more. I think Lane will win a natty? I mean, I hope he does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you said, the trajectory in his past says he should now be in the best position of his career to do just that. Based off what he's accomplished previously and now where he is and the pedigree that was set before him, he should come out of this with a ring. Like you said, does he win multiple natties? Don't know.
Right.
Nick Saban only won 1 at LSU. Les Miles only won 1 at LSU. Ed Orgeron only won 1 at LSU. Now, did things break their way? Yeah, of course. But there are things that have to really fall into place in order for you to be able to win that championship.
No doubt.
Are those things going to go in Lane's favor? We don't know. We can't control that. That's not what we're here for. But are we invested in it? Yeah. And not only are we invested in it, we're excited about it. We did a roundtable the other night with All Things Go, and we were talking about how what made what made LSU so exciting on those national championship runs, and what it came to was it was the chase, right? Like we've been to the top, we've fallen, and then we climb back to the top, and it's always that climb back up that excites you the most. Like if you look at Alabama fans, they're accustomed to winning and being relevant in the national championship game year in and year out. So they're spoiled and entitled at this point. They don't know what it feels like to ride that high. We like to get drunk all the time. And we're drunk off hope right now. And that's what makes it so much fun. And not only that, we punked a rival. We punked a rival. And that's what made it that much more sweeter. Because here's a team that we never really looked at as a rival. We were always their Super Bowl. They were always punching up. And then you go and take the one thing that made them relevant, made them successful, and said, oh, you know what? Let's send you back down to irrelevance. And then in the same time, you really punked your true rival in Florida. So you killed two birds with one stone. And it is absolutely amazing to see. God David says nothing but love and respect for DJ. One brief interaction with her in Omaha, and I could tell she's as authentic as she seems on Twitter. Keep grinding, my friend.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, David's a real good guy, man. He was in that round table with us, and he is a baseball savant. He's a baseball knower. I'm looking forward to having some conversations.
Yeah, I will
with
say
him.
if you were in Omaha for the most part, like baseball. There was not many LSU fans that I spoke to in Omaha that weren't diehard knowers of the game.
No, it's so I know the game, but I don't know the game like how I know football.
Yeah.
I can tell you, the frontline players, like who our starting nine most likely is going to be, but like getting into like the breaking down of analytics and who's got the stuff and who should be, the midweek starter, I can't get that deep into it.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, once the second Friday in February rolls around, I am locked in.
Yeah. I mean, as you should be.
So I love it. I love it. So what are you, if you're looking at this portal class that we just brought in with Lane, what are you most excited about now that you have it finished? What position group?
I mean, I think it's the easiest answer in the whole world, but it's the quarterback room. I mean, and I say that with the full awareness that this quarterback room is not going to be able to be successful unless you're successful in the offensive line, which you also took care of in the portal class. So I am mostly impressed with the quarterback haul because of how efficient you were in the portal. But I'm also aware that haul is only capable of being successful because of what you did on the offensive line.
Yeah, exactly. I that's a perfect way to compliment it, and that kind of goes to where I was alluding to, where I was leaning towards. I wasn't going to say the quarterback group specifically because it's like you said, it's obvious. I'm most excited about the running back room because of what you did on the offensive line. You were able to keep Harlem Berry. You were able to keep Caden Durham.
Yep.
You added a guy in Dylan Jones who a lot of people don't know, but they need to. They need to, like, quickly. And then when you add that with the offensive line haul that you brought in, that's going to make a hell of a difference, considering the fact that we couldn't run the football with the running back for the last 4 years.
I also think that's partly problematic to your running backs coach, but
that's, like that kind of goes hand in hand. But once again, that was on the previous head coach. But I digress. Anyway, David said he's going to put his daughter to bed and read her story. I'll catch back up with y'all in a bit. Tell her good night, sweet dreams, and go Tiger. So if we're looking at this roster, the quarterback room is the one that you're most excited about. When you look at the schedule, outside of Ole Miss, what do you think will be the most challenging games that LSU will have coming forward?
All right, hang on. Let me pull up the schedule so I can really.
Yeah, I'm
have
sorry.
it.
Should I let
No,
you
you're good. I
go
have
for
it saved on my phone. I just have Okay, here we go. Okay, what games? What am I worried about? Is that what you're saying?
What games would you be most excited about first, outside of Ole
Okay.
Miss?
Most excited about at Auburn.
At Auburn. Okay.
At
All right.
Auburn.
All right. Why? I haven't heard that one yet.
Jordan Hare is the most underappreciated stadium in the SEC. It is a glorious experience. I love Jordan Hare. I have always said if I had a second team in the SEC, it would be Auburn. If you ask most people now, it's Georgia, but that's just because I live here and they're easily accessible to get to. I love Auburn genuinely so much. And it was the first ever away game I went to as a student. They were so kind, they were so hospitable, and we beat them. And we were all walking out of the stadium and they're saying, "We don't care, just go beat Bama." Like that's all, like we mutually agree on our hatred for that one school in Tuscaloosa. Right. And now this game I would be even a different level if I felt like they were going to be good. I'm worried about Auburn. But I have always said, and I will stand by it, college football is a better sport when Auburn is good at football.
I think you're absolutely right on that. I think it's one of the most slept on universities and programs in the SEC. When Auburn is good, the rest of the conference is good.
Correct.
Like they're a threat. Everybody has to be on their P's and Q's.
Yep.
And I think that I think it was 2003. Look, I'm old, all right, so excuse me, but I'm showing my age here. But the year that they had Cadillac Williams and I forgot the quarterback's name, Jason. It's on the tip of my tongue, but they went 13-0 and they didn't get a chance to go to the national championship.
Right.
That was the biggest robbery I had seen in a long time. Even if you look back at it now, like that team was a national championship caliber team then. And then my favorite Auburn team was the Kick Six team with Nick Marshall.
Great team.
Like that team. I mean, of course, everybody goes to Cam Newton. That's easy. It's like us going to 2019, right?
Right.
Like that's their 2019 team. But that Nick Marshall team was fun to watch.
They were fun to watch.
It was. So, like, now that you mention it, if I did have another team that I would be interested in, Auburn is it. Thanks for this realization of making me see this.
Yeah, I'm really closeted Auburn fan, and it works well because they're the Tigers. So it's.
Are they? Because I mean, they're also
War really feel like I'm cheating. It was easier to cheer for them when we didn't play them. Now they're back on our schedule.
So then, all right, that's the team that you're most excited about. What's the team that you're most concerned about then, outside of Ole Miss?
Okay. From a personal standpoint, Texas A&M.
Fair.
Because we can't lose to them in 2 back-to-back years. My entire identity is at stake. We have to beat them. But I would say, like, you have a little bit of a gauntlet there at the end. Like, Alabama, Texas, and then at Tennessee is brutal.
That is brutal, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not too concerned about Alabama. I think they're going to take a bigger step back than what people are anticipating.
I don't worry about Alabama's talent level. This is not a talent thing for me, and this is not about their teams. This will always be a mental game until it's no longer a mental game.
Exactly.
And so you don't know. Like, you don't know if Lane Kiffin's going to come in and be able to flip that mental switch. You don't know if those athletes are going to be able to change and flip that mental switch. So, like, I will always be worried about Alabama until we can beat Alabama on a consistent basis.
I mean, I think that starts this year.
Yeah, I heard that 4 years ago.
No, I didn't. I didn't believe it.
I'm not saying you said that. I'm saying there were plenty of LSU fans 4 years ago that were firmly believed that it was different.
Come on, let's be honest. Brian Kelly faced Nick Saban how many times? And that was the first time he was able to beat him. Every other time
on a fluke, like on a one-play fluke, like
right on a fluke.
And we're all grateful. No one's mad, but
like, let's be honest. Like, if that game is played 10 out of 10 times, that's the one time you win that game. And that was with the Jayden Daniels who didn't win the Heisman.
Yeah.
Like, so
I
yeah,
mean, I think back to 2 years ago, like Jalen Milroe was not that good, and he made us
no,
look like idiots.
I
So
was
like,
there for that
that's
game.
that's where it goes back to like I am less concerned about the talent because there were worse teams than LSU that made Alabama look significantly worse, and we couldn't do it because it's a mental switch.
But and that's why I think going back to that mental thing, you also had a coach that had a mental switch like that too. Like that's the one team he would all Brian Kelly would make it to the playoffs and get matched up with Nick Saban and get his teeth kicked in. Like he never wanted SEC smoke. And don't get me wrong,
I mean,
overall, he did well against other SEC teams, but quality teams and quality coaches, he was overmatched.
I mean, that's why I never wanted him.
So I mean, we got a guy in Lane Kiffin who took it to Georgia. Like he's got Kirby Smart's number, and if he can beat Georgia, I think he can handle Alabama with this talent. He's got enough cockiness within him.
This goes back to I
flip the switch.
don't know that this is solely a Lane Kiffin problem. That's what I'm saying.
No, I believe you. No, look, this is mostly me trying to talk myself over this hurdle too.
Yeah. I have done that enough. I won't do it anymore.
So that's mostly me. I will tell you that, like you said, that gauntlet at the end is absolutely treacherous. And the team that I'm really concerned about, it's not the Texas, it's that Tennessee team.
At Tennessee is also just a brutal place to win.
Yes. Like
I was at Georgia, Tennessee this year, which was honestly the game of the year. It was just so early in the year that everyone forgot about it. But
right.
That game went back to back to back. I mean, either one of those teams could have won.
Yes.
And going to Tennessee, and that late in the year, you don't know what's at stake. You don't know where people are ranked. That could very well be a night game at Neyland. And that's one of the most toxic places to play in all of college football.
Yes, Neyland is slept on as a college football stadium, and they need to start giving them their credit. Like Knoxville brings it.
Yeah,
Knoxville at night is a different place too. Like how we transform Death Valley, they transform Neyland Stadium at night. Like it's a legit spot. So like I'm terrified of that Tennessee game and being where it is in the schedule too.
Yeah.
Because like you said, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You don't have a time to catch up off of any emotional high that you're riding on.
No, you also don't have time to catch up on injuries. You don't have, there's a lot about like, I mean, but they say like contenders are exposed in November. You're going to find out if you're a contender or not.
That part right there. My boy Nick is in the chat. Thanks for joining us tonight, Nick. He said DeBoer is soft. Soft. I mean, not going to disagree. Have you seen the picture of him recently?
Yes. I have a lot of, I don't know if sympathy is the word, but I cannot imagine being the guy after the guy.
That's just what I was about to say.
And honestly, he deserves mad respect for even taking that job because there were other people that turned that job down. And I don't think it's because they don't want to be the head coach at Alabama. I think it's because they don't want to follow Nick Saban.
Who truly wants, and I get
the only person with an ego big enough to follow Nick Saban is Lane Kiffin, and Alabama was never going to hire him in the first place.
At all. And when you think about it, like I understand why he made the jump from Washington to Alabama. It is a legit step up.
No
it's
doubt.
An opportunity to have the resources that you need to prove that you are a winning coach. You're going to have Nick Saban right by your side to lean on as a mentor. However, what they didn't tell you in the fine print or in the Apple terms of conditions is that you lose more than 2 games in a single season, Tuscaloosa turns on you faster than a roux burning at the bottom of the pot, a gumbo. Like you better keep stirring slow, brother. And you can see from his hairline that seat is getting real hot right now, and I feel bad for him because he's a good guy, and I think he works hard. I just don't. I just think that the fit is wrong for him. And to be honest, I thought the guy that they should have tried to pull away was Dabo. At the time, at the time, personally, I would have loved to see Dabo go to Alabama because he would have ruined it. He would have broken it quickly. Just how destructive he's being with Clemson, he would have amplified Bama. And I would have been here for it. So personally, I would have loved to see them go for Dabo. That's just me. So we can talk about football all day, and I know that you're into baseball. What are your feelings on this men's basketball program?
The only feeling I have is fire, Matt. That's the only feeling I have. That's all I got for you. I don't have any other emotion other than fire, Matt.
Do you think that this is a world that we live in where we go after and successfully pull Will Wade back into the fold?
This is the most painful thing I'm gonna say out loud. Verge basically proved he can do whatever he wants. And now you have to make Will Wade. I mean, Will Wade's it's gonna take some convincing. This is a guy that you basically threw out like the trash to save your football program. But I think we all realize we have way more money than we thought we did. Like, go give him a blank check. And here's the deal. Here's my one thing, Verge. If you can't get Will Wade, you better go get me a head basketball coach that's as hated in their field as Kim Mulkey is in hers and Lane Kiffin is in his. Because if we're gonna be the villains, be the villains everywhere. If our fan base is gonna be hated, I want to be hated because I got villains leading the way.
Yeah, we need it. Like they've turned nice, mild-mannered, soft-spoken Jay Johnson into a villain because he won.
Because and all he does is win.
And I love it. I'm here for it.
Same.
I can only imagine. Like someone said, I heard someone saying that it would be hard for boosters and fans to get behind the firing of Matt McMahon, and I was like, well, if you want to see a complete reversal of attitude and spending, go get the guy who is bringing the life back to the PMAC from the jump anyway.
Correct.
Like you thought we had energy before he left behind basketball. Imagine what that energy would be like if he returns and then he's a cherry on top of what they have in Kim Mulkey. Now what you have in Jay Johnson, and then the creme de la creme in Lane Kiffin. Like he was the vibe on campus.
He had aura before we all knew what it was. Like
right. Now he's just the bay leaf in the pot.
Yeah.
So why not just say, like you say, double down and go get him. Get him.
I mean, you have to go make him tell you no.
Do you have any insight on if it's not Will Wade, who else you would like to see?
If I'm being honest, no. College basketball is the sport I care the least about. Now, when I say I care the least about it, you're looking at someone who went to the Final Four and the national championship last year. Like she cares about basketball. But she doesn't. I don't pay as much attention to the world of college basketball as I do everything else. So I don't have someone that I would want strictly based on like their career. Now there are coaches just like in college football, like you should probably say no, like you should go make Todd Golden tell you no. Right. I want a younger coach. Like don't go stick me with some old man like you did my football coach. I'm over being a mental health facility for senior citizens. Okay. Get me the young people. Okay. If I could pick just out of my own volition, I would drive 45 minutes west to Louisiana Lafayette, and I would snatch Quantas White out of that gym, and I would make him the head basketball coach at LSU. He trained under Kelvin Sampson for 12, 13, 14 years, played for Kelvin Sampson at Oklahoma. He's the creme de la creme of basketball coaches, but he is currently coaching at a university that won't give one penny of NIL money to college basketball. So he's going to continue to not be happy, but he's from Louisiana and he wanted to coach in his hometown. So, yeah, drive 45 minutes, sign him to a small contract, make him prove he deserves the job. But when he's really freaking good,
double down and pay him.
just
Piercely says, I don't
remember
think
who
we'll be able
told
to
you
pull
about him.
Right. That part right there. Piercely says, I don't think we'll be able to pull him from NC State, whether or not he'd be up to return.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you have to make him tell you no. You might not pull
Right.
him. You might not pull
Right.
him.
And
He
that's
might
a
be
good
pissed,
point.
and guess what? He has a right to be pissed.
Right. And Piercely, I mean, that's a good point, because NC State is a basketball school and they have facilities that, you know, LSU is sorely lacking. And in the process of trying to correct, you know, you're on the books for a new gym that's going to be headlined by Our Lady of the Lake. So you got things.
That's what we need. More hospital money.
Oh yeah. Why not? I mean, why not at this point? It's there. You might as well just do it. I mean, Lane shared an Our Lady of the Lake hat like 2 weeks ago.
I know. And I was like, okay, at least it doesn't say Children's Hospital.
True. So I like you said, I go to him with the blank check. Tell him name your price. Tell him name your NIL budget, and we'll figure out the rest when you get here.
I mean, the only good news for him, for like the hope of it all, is that he and Verge had a good relationship when he was here. And ultimately Scott Woodward is the one that hung him out to dry. And so he might be more willing to hear about a makeup if it comes from Verge.
All right. Piercy also says LSU will shout out top dollar for football and baseball, but I got serious doubt it'll dig deeper into those pockets for basketball.
Well, they're not giving another penny to McMahon. Like, that's just the reality of it. So you won't know if they'll show out more money until you hire a coach worth a flip.
Right. I think we can't keep making the assumption that LSU won't spend money.
Yeah, correct. Because no one thought they were going to fire Brian Kelly.
That part right there. And not only fire Brian Kelly, you had the governor come out and say we're not going to sign a massive contract for the next head coach. And you right now are tied to paying 2 head coaches for football $145 million collectively. So let us not sit up here and decide what LSU will and won't spend money on.
Correct.
Do they have an incentive? And this is how we have to this is how we need to change our focus. The money that these donors and that these boosters are paying, it's not just for a check. It's an investment. And there's going to be a return on that investment. So when you're looking at a program like the men's basketball program, you shelled out a 7-year contract worth $10 million to a guy from a mid-major school who was kind of on the rise, you expected at this point in time to start seeing a return on that investment, to seeing the PMAC packed out, to getting kickbacks and things like that from off the university's money, for it to be a revenue generating sport. You're not getting that right now. So that's a bad investment.
Ironically, LSU basketball is the only sport in 2025 that made money outside of LSU football.
Yes.
So the idea that NIL money wouldn't go to them, even though it's still a revenue producing sport, even though, you know, y'all think they give all this money to baseball, and yet they don't. A deficit in baseball every year. Basketball is still making money. So the idea that they would not be willing to donate NIL money to the only other sport that makes any money for the university is a comical thought.
Absolutely true. Like, there's only 2 sports on the entire campus that pays for itself. Just 2. And it's your men's basketball team that can't get people in the door right now. It's still making money. I know, crazy. But think about how much more money it should be making when it's operating effectively. And that's what they're seeing right now. They're missing out on money, missing out on a ton of money. I want to shift real quick. I want to take a quick tangent. I want to talk about your name. What was the inspiration behind behind your name, Dailey Joy?
It's not as exciting as people think that it is.
Really?
Yeah, no. My mom heard the name Joy and absolutely hated it. And she was like, no, I'm not naming my kid Joy. And then she heard of someone else that named their kid Bailey Joy. And my mom was like, well, I don't like that. But then my mom was like, but what about Dailey Joy? Like, she liked that it was a play on words. And so that's what she named me. It's really not that exciting at all.
Oh, Well, I mean,
And now
so
we
it may
don't
not.
speak. So now I think she probably regrets that being my name.
Life has its ironies, its twists, and its turns.
No doubt about it.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Pearsley said we have holes in the roof still, and then he said, "Save me, Tillman and Blake Fertitta." Well, I don't know if Tillman will be the one to save you, but Blake might be willing to open up his wallets, and that's why you see Lane taking photos courtside at Houston Rockets games with Blake specifically.
Blake
So-
Fertitta's a good guy. I would know. He gives a lot of money to Houston basketball, where Quantas White used to coach.
So see if if Quantas will make that connection over here in
Quantas
Baton.
would make the jump in a heartbeat. Verge just needs to call him.
Can we get you in touch with Verge?
You don't want that. Me and Verge, I don't have the highest respect level for Verge. So I'll stick to giving him suggestions via podcast.
So you have a podcast of your own, is that right?
That's launching this week.
Awesome. So what's your podcast going to be about?
Well, it's the SEC Pretty podcast, obviously. So it'll just be talking ball, but like I want it to be a place where obviously everyone is welcome to come and talk ball, but it is very hard to find spaces where women feel comfortable enough to speak and feel like their voices are not only going to be heard but appreciated and not listened to be talked down to, but listened to because their voice matters. And so I really wanted to give women a place to do that safely and respectfully. And mainly because if someone claps back at them, I will clap back even quicker on their behalf. And so, yeah, it'll just be talking ball. I'll have some really cool guests on there, some former LSU players that I'm already in discussions with that'll be hopping on. So, yeah, it'll be a really good time. We'll focus mainly football, baseball. On occasion, I'll throw in a fire mat. If they hire someone new, maybe I'll bring basketball in full time. But yeah, mainly football, mainly baseball talk. We'll probably take breaks in the summer just because everyone deserves a break at some point. And then, yeah, we'll hop back in full throttle probably come early August just to really get a full scope on college football before it starts.
That's awesome. I cannot wait. Where can we listen to it?
It'll be on the Total Coverage Sports YouTube channel.
Okay.
And then I will be obviously tweeting it every week. So
Awesome. So I'm definitely going to go over to Total Sports YouTube channel right now and subscribe.
Yeah.
Don't mind me as I'm looking away.
No, you're good.
So I'm going to hit that subscribe button right now. For all those in the chat, please, guys, go over to Total Sports YouTube right now and hit the subscribe button for our girl. Hold it down for her. Because you're right. I think it's so male dominated, and even in that take in the way that it's operating right now, women have so much more of a powerful voice and insight. And I think you guys need more spaces to be able to speak freely and be confident in how you speak. And look, I'm sorry if I overstepped my bounds the other day when that fucking clown.
Oh no, you were fine. I was just laughing. There are people that ironically, my dad used to call me because he follows me on Twitter. And he used to be like, I'm kind of worried about your piece. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? He's like, well, you're always going back at people. And I feel like you're always on the defensive. And I was like, Dad, I clap back at like 1/4 of the people that talk poorly to me. Like you see what I do, but you don't see the things that I ignore. And He was like, okay, I'm sorry. And then as time's gone on, now he's so sick of seeing people be mean to me that he's like, clap back, Joy, clap back all day. Like he's ready for it. I don't clap back at everybody. Not everyone deserves it, honestly. Like I work really hard to have really good energy and I protect it at all costs. If I'm responding to you, there's a 99% chance I am laughing at you.
Right.
You are so insanely stupid that I feel like the world needs to be given the
Needs to
courtesy
see
of knowing that you're stupid and you shouldn't be interacted with. But it does not bother me, especially the people that like their first reaction is to go after how you look. I'm like, So you have no other valid argument. So
Right.
the immediate reaction, which also, you're coming after my looks, buddy. Like, calm down. And that's not on me thinking I'm any better than anyone. It's just being confident in exactly who I am.
Right.
So I know I've never felt threatened by a man on Twitter, and it won't start tomorrow, and it's not looking good the day after that either. I'll clap back any day of the week and twice on Sunday if I want to. And if I don't want to, go on with your, like, go ask your mom for the attention you didn't receive as a child.
Please. Because that situation the other night was just absolutely ridiculous. And it's sad that, every time guys see a man and a woman interacting, they always jump to the conclusion that someone wants to sleep with someone else. It's like, no, like what we're doing is laughing at you collectively, and you fail to realize it. And we also have a professional relationship to where we can talk and interact with each other without trying to get those things accomplished. It's just you lacking social skills to where you don't have the confidence to talk to a woman outside of yourself, which is why you're hiding your face on Twitter and social media anyway.
Correct.
So it's absolutely stupid. My guy Austin Taylor was in here. He was talking about Will Wade. His love for Wade is the reason I want him back. I think he's talking about Wade Roos.
No, he's talking about Wade Sims.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you about Wade Sims. I was close with Wade. I was close with Wade's best friend, Skylar. So Skylar Mays and I go way back. I knew Skylar when he was in like elementary school, middle school.
Really?
He has been a part of our family for forever. And so yeah, how Will Wade handled Wade Sims and that whole interaction will forever ring right with me. I think Will Wade did everything right in that situation. I speak for Skylar, and I think Skylar would agree. And so, yeah, I have zero, I don't have anything negative ever to say about Will Wade, and a lot of it is because of how he handled Wade. So
that's awesome. So, and Austin's saying that Wade is actually his cousin, and he's close with Sky and
Skylar's the best.
and
I love
family.
Skylar with all my heart.
That's awesome. And David said Blake's ability to deal with those idiots, he's talking about Blake from AYS, to deal with those idiots talking about his family is a level of patience I strive to achieve. And no, you're absolutely right. Like it's sickening that, but once again, social media, Twitter is not a real place.
No.
It's like you can't let yourself get emotionally invested to what the opinions of people who don't even have the courage to show their own faces say, because that's the only time that they're going to ever say something to your face about it. They hide behind keyboards.
Blake always says, Blake's like signature thing we always used to say is, what's your Twitter at? Like when people would see him in real life, he'd be like, but what's your Twitter at? Because he was always like, but were you one of the people like coming at me on Twitter and now you want to be cool to my face? So like, what's your Twitter at? Like, I want to know what you've been saying. And we see it all the time. Like I watched it literally happen to Blake last season during the baseball series against Tennessee. There were people that had been like bashing him on Twitter all week. And then we're at the game and we're like 2 feet away and like couldn't come say something. And I'm like, you're a coward. That's exactly what you are. And
that's what it is.
As much as I hate to say this, I love LSU. Our fan base is full of them.
Yes.
And yeah, no, I mean, I'm blocked by half the fan base. I don't give a damn. Yeah, I don't even care at this point. Like, what's your Twitter at though? You won't say half of what you've said in
that part
to me in real life.
That's like that's the thing that makes me mad. Like I said, I was talking to a couple guys on the podcast last night, and my grandfather always told me there's only 2 things that you have in this world, and that's your balls and your word. And there's only 2 things that you have to do, son, and that's stay black and die. So you make sure that when you give your word, you mean it.
Yeah.
Because whatever I say on Twitter, I'm speaking from my mouth first.
Yep.
And it's in black and white.
That's one thing I will say about me, and like I believe David said it earlier, and I am grateful for it. I am exactly who I am in real life on Twitter. Like the way that I will say something to a man and be like, well, that's not what your dad said. Like I would say that to you in real life. I am the same person in both arenas. And I think that's one thing that, like, if you ever actually like meet me in real life, you're like, no, nope, that's who she is. She's crazy and she's loud and she'll clap back and she's not afraid. And she probably drinks too much and will yell at a referee or tweet back at Billy Lucci or, you know, talk bad about Jimbo. This is who I am all the time.
So look, and that's I think the first time I actually saw you live and speaking was when you did Carter's podcast.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that and I thought it was absolutely amazing. And once again, like I said, I saw your interactions, and you are who you portray yourself to be. Like there's no faking about it. And I want to tell you right now, I love what you're doing. I love where you're headed. And I'm so fortunate and blessed that you were willing to come on my little podcast and sit down and have this conversation with me. Like I can't thank you enough for this, Joy. And
Oh my God,
I know it's almost 10 o'clock and I don't want to keep you up too late. So we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. I want to thank all of y'all in the chat for joining us tonight. And this won't be the last time that we collab. Trust me, it won't. Like this was fun. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
And we're going to sign off now. Thank y'all again. And please go follow Joy if you're not. I mean, she's got like 10,000 followers, so I'm pretty sure y'all are. Y'all are well aware.
I don't.
So go follow her. Stop being humble. You got like 10,000 followers. And then go, Joy, do me a favor. Tweet out your YouTube channel for your pod.
Okay.
So I can share it. And hopefully, I don't know if you noticed, but your boy's been retweeting my stuff the last couple days. Lane.
Oh, Lane?
Yeah, Lane retweeted like 4 of my posts and followed me. So my account.
Okay, King. Pop off. Lane will never follow me. Y'all know, like, is everyone aware of that reality? Like, Lane will never follow me. That will never happen.
That's all right. I mean, at least.
No, I'm okay with that. I am of the awareness that Lane will never follow me. Yeah, I've said it once. I'll say it again. I'm too old and I'm not blonde. Lane ain't following me. Lane ain't following me. Lane ain't liking my tweets. Lane don't know I exist.
Yes, Paul. Joy has a pod. It's actually starting when?
This week.
This week, guys. So please, she just sent out a tweet for us to go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please go like. I'm gonna repost it as soon as I get off of here. And you guys, please go subscribe to Joy's pod. Let's support her as much as she can. Like she said, she's trying to give all the ladies like herself a platform so that way they can come and share in this conversation with us. One of my big things this week, Joy, has been, and I didn't get a chance to touch on this with you, is that this feels a little different for me. Like the unity that Louisiana is starting to kind of bubble up with, like different people from all different aspects of life across the state are all just kind of rallying around the hope that we have centered in Baton Rouge. And it's different when the Saints are good because the Saints kind of go across the entire Gulf. You know, like they touch fan bases from Houston all the way to Florida. But LSU is ours. And it's the one thing that we can get right. So with the excitement that's bubbling around, you know, it seems like everybody's rallying around that. Is that a sense that you're starting to see right now too?
Yeah, I think if I'm being honest, as I said it earlier, like Brian Kelly made it not fun, but I also feel like Brian Kelly was insanely divisive. And he had our fan base hating each other because we didn't like him, or we didn't like who his offensive coordinator hires were, or we didn't like who his defensive coordinator hires were, or we didn't like the way he treated Nuss. And half of us really could tell that Nuss was hurt, and the other half only wanted to believe what Brian Kelly was saying. And of course, he wasn't going to ever say he was hurt because he needed him to be the fall guy. And so I just think that there were so many things that LSU fans couldn't agree on for 4 years. And then it was all like, we all collectively at the same time got on the same page and we're like, he needs to go. And then it almost felt like for the most part, I saw a little bit of like not loving the Lane hire, but for the most part, I would say people were thrilled about the hire. And so I think when all of those things really start melding together, then we do collectively start to have hope. We do collectively start to believe that the best things that can happen. But for 4 years, we were all kind of being sold and buying different narratives. And I think that it's really hard to have a fan base cohesive in emotion when they're all fighting each other.
Right. No, that's perfect way to lay it out, and I'm definitely gonna clip that and share that. So thanks. Well, once again, y'all, thanks again for
the Lane doesn't know me part of it. That I don't really get.
Oh, I'm definitely clipping that. I'm gonna tag him in that.
Oh God. Okay.
I'm gonna at him in that.
He's gonna say let them.
Yes. I want him specifically to hear the part where he said Lane will never follow me.
He
and
won't.
if he hits
I'm trying to tell y'all.
If he hits that follow button.
I'm trying to tell y'all he won't do it. He won't do it. He can't be following random women. It's not good for his reputation.
I mean, you're not random though.
I mean, I would send Layla and Landry hats if they wanted them. I'm just saying.
Let's put it out there. So, Lane, let's get the follow so we can get some SEC pretty hats to Layla and Landry because they need it because they are SEC pretty.
True.
I think that's a
Presley one. I know she's at USC, but if she wants one, I'll send her one.
Right. I mean, she's still technically SEC pretty. She's from the South.
It's true.
Like
cookies, Mom. I got you too. Lane, I got the whole family, buddy.
We'll even get one of Juice.
Literally, I will get one for Juice.
Like, let's do it. You know, like let's make this happen, Lane. Come on, Coach. Hit the follow button. Let's get them in the SEC pretty hat, and let's take this SEC pretty brand to a whole new strategy. Straight up, straight like that, because the Big Ten can't do it like the SEC.
True.
Good night, y'all. Thank y'all. We're gonna sign off on that note. Later.
Bye.